Hi everyone, and welcome to my video where I explain how to fill out the one-pager for compensation with regards to how you as a buyer's agent will get paid. Before I do that, I just wanted to let you know who I am. My name is Brad Anderson. I am the broker owner of White Rock Realty. White Rock Realty operates in the states of Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. And uh, I have put together a list of contracts and forms that you would need for a typical listing transaction, a buyer transaction, and a lease, whether you represent the landlord or the tenant. So I get a lot of questions about what form do I need for what, and it's just easier uh, to be organized and create templates in the transaction desk for this. And so if you want this, I am more than happy to give it to you. No obligation whatsoever. Here is my contact information. You can either text me, call me, uh, email me, or whatever. And so if you are not an agent of White Rock Realty, maybe you should be. I put education and training at the center of everything that we do. So these videos are a great example of how I run the brokerage. And so if you're interested in what we have to offer, you can go to this website right here, whiterocktexas.info, and see all that we have to offer. All right. So without further ado, let's launch into the cooperative compensation supplement. And this is an OREC form. And it's just a one pager. Now, it's simple in nature in terms of how to fill this out, but when to fill it out and how to use it are kind of where the questions come in. So basically, you're going to put your buyer's agent hat on right now, and you're going to take your clients around to go see a home, and they're going to fall in love with it, and it's time for you to make an offer. Now, remember that as a result of the NAR settlement, the offers of compensation, i.e., your commission, are no longer displayed within the MLS. So, how do you figure out if you're going to get paid, and if so, how much? Um, this is where this form comes in. So I've seen agents do this a couple of different ways. Sometimes they will text the listing agent of the home that the buyer wants to put an offer in on, or even if they want to go see it. Because let's face it, sometimes the buyer is not financially able to pay their agent. Okay. And so, therefore, you as the buyer's agent have to seek payment from the seller. Now, in the listing agreement, which I'm not going to go into in this video, there is a separate spot for the disclosure of how much the seller is going to pay the buyer's agent. Okay, so that's not to be reviewed here, but I'm just saying that that's where that is. Now, again, the buyer's agent will sometimes text the listing agent and ask them what the seller is willing to contribute to the buyer's agent's commission. That's one way. The other way is that you, as the buyer agent, can simply send over this compensation agreement, and without any knowledge of what you're going to get paid, and just ask for what you want to get paid. And that becomes a part of the offer. And the seller slash seller's agent will either accept or decline this compensation. Now, they may also accept or decline other parts of the transaction. Now, mind you, you can ask for whatever you want to ask for, but if, as an example, the home is priced at $400,000 and your buyer wants to offer $350,000, well, whatever you were told by the listing agent may change based on that offer. And so, logically speaking, if you were the listing agent or the seller and you felt that the value of the home was $400,000 and an offer was $350,000, would you, as the seller, not want to tweak what you paid the buyer's agent? Probably. right? So just FYI, it's a new world out there. So um, just because you get a verbal agreement from the listing agent with regards to what they're going to pay, that may and can change based on the strength of the offer. And it doesn't have to just be price. It could be buyer needs to sell another home to get this home, or buyers using a specific loan that takes longer to close. It could be anything. All right. But all that to say that your compensation is not set in stone unless both brokerages agree to it. Okay, so this is the form whereby the seller agrees to split the commission that they're giving their listing agent with you as the buyer. All right, and so just as um, a rule of thumb, anywhere where you see the term broker, that's going to be a place where you can sign on behalf of the brokerage as an agent. Okay, so it basically just says the undersigned parties hereby agree uh, that seller shall compensate the cooperative licensed real estate brokerage, which is buyer's broker, for professional services in the amount of, and they can either say, I'm going to give you a flat fee, or let's say it's 3% of the sales price. Okay, it's going to be one or the other. So let's just remove that. Okay. And then it goes on to say compensation shall be included in the final sales price of the property described above. Okay. So it's baked in to the sales price. And so how could it not be, right? If you think about that logically, the seller is going to hopefully enjoy some kind of profit from the sale of the home. But from that sales price, from that profit, is going to be deducted all of his closing costs. Well, commission is a part of the closing costs. Number three, compensation is due and payable upon the successful closing of the sale. So it doesn't close, buyer's agent doesn't get paid. Seller and buyer authorize payment to buyer's broker at closing in accordance with this supplement. Number four, the supplement shall be binding upon and ensure to the benefit of the parties hereto and their respective heirs, executors, administrators, successors, and assigns. So that's a fancy way of saying, if the unfortunate event happens where the transaction closes, but the buyer's agent passes away, this goes to that agent's estate. Okay. Any assignment of the sales contract shall include the terms of this cooperative compensation supplement and shall be binding on the assignee. The undersigned parties acknowledge that they have read, understand, and agree to the terms of this cooperative compensation supplement. And so, whereas in the old days, this part of the transaction may have not been disclosed or just wasn't mentioned, now it is, in the sense that the buyer has to sign it and the seller has to sign it. And oh, by the way, since the brokerages are in charge of paying their agent, each brokerage has to sign as well. Now, that again, that means you as the agent. And so in my example, we represent the buyer. So this is where you would sign as the buyer's agent. And then the listing agent signs here. Okay. So it's not overly complicated, but you are not going to get paid without this form. Okay. So a rule of thumb in anything in real estate, if it is not in writing, it did not happen. So texts don't count, emails don't count. These contracts are the only thing that counts. All right. So if you don't get this, there is, well, I'm not going to say there's no guarantee you won't get paid, but it becomes completely unenforceable. And in the world of real estate, that's a dangerous place to be. Okay. So I hope you found this video helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out.